What up? Big on the place to be. Getting your man Julian Rodriguez, aka Kiki, aka I'll get to that in a minute. He got the audacity to try to roast me. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. He trying to snap on my gear while I'm rocking certain things with certain things. Mind you, he's the one that be in clubs rocking skinny jeans with Uggs. Come on, son. Fuck out of here with that shit. Fuck is wrong with you being? Skinny jeans with Uggs. Picture this nigga doing that shit in the club. Rocking that shit in the club. Doing the robot. Come on, son. Fuck out of here with that shit. Read about him. Read about him. Julian Rodriguez, a.k.a. 60-second assassin, a.k.a. Mr. Two Pumps. Fuck out of here with that shit. I'm going to get to the bottom right now. He wants to talk about whips, cars, vehicles, automobiles. This dude pushes a 1979 Toyota Camry. Come on, son. Fuck out of here with that shit. Fuck is you writing that shit for? You embarrassed? That ain't the end of it. This dude's car broke down on the Cross Bronx. Come on, son. How your shit breaks down in the Cross Bronx? Fuck out of here with that shit. That ain't the end of it. That ain't the end of it. How it breaks down in the Cross Bronx while you would have shorty taking her home. Come on, son. Fuck out of here with that shit. Ain't you embarrassed? Check that shit in for something for escalator sign. Fuck out of here. That ain't the end of it. How, when it breaks down, he asks shorty to help him push it. Come on, son. How you ask shorty, you taking her home, and you ask her to push your car? That ain't the end of it. After he asked shorty, yo, help me push the car, I can't do it by myself. She tells him no. He got the audacity to get mad at her. Come on, son. Fuck out of here with that shit. Come on. You talking about my whip? Come on, son. And your man just found out the scoop on him. The scoop. The scoop. He got the audacity to have jokes on people when people got shit on him. What's wrong with being? Oh, man. A source told me this dude, oh, man, is the 60 assassin. Mr. Two Pumps, night, put him to bed. I ain't gonna put on blast right now. This dude is a 60-second assassin. She was like, I put him on to shorty. She got mad at me. Come on, son. You fucking up my rep. What the fuck is wrong with your bean? She wanna hit me. I'm like, what's up with you, man? What's up, man? Who? Dorothy. I'm like, wow. What's up? Mr. Two Pumps. Mr. That can't get it up. Tell him, are you 3-0? What are you doing 3-0? Tell him you 3-0. Come on, son. Fuck out of here. Julian Rodriguez, a.k.a. 60 seconds assassin, a.k.a. Mr. Two Pumps. Two Pumps. And she told me it was baby pumps. 2 pumps and baby pumps. Like, and you was done. Come on, son. Your man, big T.O.D. What's up, your man? Julian Rodriguez, a.k.a. Kiki, a.k.a. Mr. Two Pumps, a.k.a. 60-second assassin. How's your boy?